Yeah, thank you, Fazza. This is the question in absolute essence. What have you learned about how to be a successful leader, which you kind of wish you knew when you were much younger and you set out on this ambitious entrepreneurial career? In essence, basically, give us your best tip that you can think of when it comes to successful leadership.
I just literally 15 minutes ago, I made a few points that came to mind. The first one is you must have integrity, but it's an easy word with a lot of interpretations. I want to put a definition to integrity because then it changes the whole meaning. My brother asked me this question a few years ago, and he said, "What is the definition of integrity?" I said, "Well, honesty, loyalty, and a couple of nice words, which probably is all part of it." And he said, "No, let me explain something to you. If you're going to buy an aeroplane, or you have an aeroplane, and the book says that every 15,000 hours you have to change the wings, argument's sake. And you get a guy who says, listen, we build wings for that aeroplane. We've never had a failure. It's strong, strong wings. You can really trust me, you can buy it. And the other company has got all the ISO gradings in the world. They sell to Boeing and to Airbus. They test their wings 75% past the required point. Who are you going to buy from? I said, of course, the company with all the gradings and the history, not just the one is just a guy's word, and the other one has really been proven to be the company to buy your wings from. He said, now, how do you test the integrity of an aeroplane's wings? He said, if you fly in perfect weather up there, are you testing the integrity of the wings? I said, no, you're not. He says, when do you? I said, well, obviously when the weather is bad and these wings are stretched to its limits, and they start bending when you have updrafts and downdrafts and bad weather. And he said, that's the exact point. Integrity only manifests itself if it still does what it's supposed to do when things don't go well. Mm. So you might think you have integrity because you've never had the bad times. And if you hit the bad times and you are still able to do what you're supposed to do, then you can say, you know what? I have integrity. And then to answer your question a little bit more fully, I am a leader because now I'm an example. And that's another point of mine. You really have to be an example. Your words, the saying that your action speaks louder than hear a word that you're saying. Words are empty. I've learned that lesson in my life more than once. So you don't have to say many things. If you lead by example and you try and live what you believe. Now I'm talking spiritual also. If you don't believe anything, if you don't know where you're going, you might as well go anyway. So it's people don't have to agree, but they will respect the person who actually who lives what he believes, who's not afraid to stand alone, for the fear of, despite what he probably knows, some people's reactions will be because they differ in opinion. But you have to be able to stand up. I like Donald Trump. Maybe not as an individual. He's always good. I don't mind his personal characteristics too much, but I do like the fact that he makes decisions and he does what he says, and economically he's been very good for America. The mainstream media tries to demonize a guy who, in my opinion, was, for instance, an excellent president. Now, a lot of people like him, more than you think, but they're too scared to say it because of the mainstream media and what other people might say. It doesn't matter what they say. Even if I just open a debate, it's fine. But I'm not going to change my views. I'm not going to try and be in the middle and please everybody. Because a true leader, I was once told by a guy who did motorsport with me, and he had a sponsorship from Ford. And he said, I can't remember what the CEO of Ford South Africa, who he was those days, he said, but that guy takes less important decisions in the day than me and you. Because he sits at the boardroom and he sees what the feeling is. He was speaking about that person specifically, and then he goes with the flow. It's not a Tony Factor or Raymond Ackerman. These guys made mistakes, but they were able and willing to stand alone because they knew what they believed in. Just like you're doing. You've gone through many difficult times in reaching these goals that you want to, which is not for your own benefit, it's for the benefit of humankind. In my opinion, that's a leader. You've developed in a leader. Me and you have in the past had personal discussions where you had to develop your own personality. And it made me think about myself, where do I need to develop? You don't develop if you can't, in Afrikaans we say hand aan eie boesem druk, where you can do some introspection to get better. So those are a few points. I've got a couple of more. I don't know how much time we've got, but
Well, that's perfect. Those are powerful, powerful principles that we all have to think of. Yesterday the CEO of Metcash in Australia said, about truth. He said it's all about truth. Living the truth, finding the truth, speaking the truth. So thank you so much for those principles. We will discuss more, and I look forward to sharing that with everyone. And congratulations on your award. We really are grateful to have you on board.
Thanks.